certain on this continent. The dangers we've seen foretell an even more menacing future. Now, for the first time, I understand real fear. Are you ready?
It's really exciting to be back to season 3, because the season 2 took so long. We also had time to really work on this story.
Season 3 is mostly based on the time of content. Not only are the stories really fun and epic, I think it has some real fan favorite moments.
And this time really paid off. I think this season is very, very close to the book.
A time of contempt is approaching.
It starts off with Geralt and Yennefer agreeing to protect Ciri.
For your discretion.
We're all together, and I think that's a relationship that everyone's been yearning for.
I was so excited to feel a part of a family, albeit it's a little bit broken from everything that's happened.
But now they're out in the wild, because there's people out there hunting Ciri, they are exposed. And so they are training her.
They're re-establishing their relationship as Yennefer is teaching Ciri how to harness her magic. It was crucial to show how she's improved, how she is now actually bringing that into helping in situations.
It's putting her training to the test. She needs to be exposed to this now.
I just love the fights. And then getting to do one with Henry. I mean, I've been waiting for this moment.
He wants to train his adopted daughter to be as good as he is. You get to see a deeper side to Geralt. They got to inject a bit more intellect and a bit more thoughtfulness.
Going to Aretusa cannot be the only answer.
It's the best thing for her. Yennefer's a bit of a politician when she goes back to Aretusa. She has to organise a conclave.
What we are getting to see now is everything that we've been building coming to fruition. Just be gentle with him.
Season 3 is the season where everything gets to broaden out and everyone gets to play a bit.
A lot of the characters all have their own agenda.
We've got all these mysteries going on. We get introduced to some new characters.
Radovid!
Woo! We see bonds forming, bonds breaking.
The continent's now again at the brink of war.
A lot of pieces just fall off the board. It's how chess is played.
But it comes down to which side are you on? Are you with us or are you against us?
Someone's doing some fairly nefarious stuff behind the scenes, and Geralt has to catch up to it.
Whoever it is very dangerous. Let it lie, Geralt.
It's the first time we actually are facing death, and that it's going to take huge sacrifice to try and get through this.
Wow. Omen for war.
The gloves are off, and you're being thrown into the deep end.
All the fans will know where the book's headed, and those who don't, it's a real shock.
No matter where you go, what you do, there will always be enemies waiting for you.
Hi, I'm Tim Crosby. I'm the visual effects supervisor for The Witcher Season 3, and we're going to take you through the incredible visual effects for the season.
An auspicious day, my lord. Thanks to you.
My roles and responsibilities as a visual effects supervisor on the show, it depends a lot on what's required on the day. If we are shooting monsters, as for instance, then I'm going to be very busy. But if we're doing little tiny things like paint-outs or clean-ups, I'll be sitting quietly in the background, but letting the production get on with what they need to do.
You will change everything!
We had quite a few monsters in this particular show. They're all slightly different. It's really important for everybody to understand or be on the same page with regards to the monsters. So we pretty quickly started putting together what we're calling a monster manual. Here's the characteristics that we would like this monster to have. You know, what colour blood does it have? How big is it? What type of predator is it? Does it jump out from hiding? Does it stalk its prey? Where's it come from? But if you have a nice big manual about all the characteristics of what a monster should be, it all becomes a little bit easier to sort of talk the same language. The trickiest one of all the monsters was what we're calling the flesh monster.
Come back first.
Really weird-looking, visceral conglomeration of torsos, legs, arms, just general bits. One of the influences that we really kind of keyed into was The Thing, the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's one. We wanted to try and get the similar sort of feeling into our show. A lot of the stuff you'll see on the screen has taken months of planning. Specifically, I think there's various different monster fights that we've spent a lot of time putting together, planning. Knowing that this monster had to fight in such a way that it was not something you necessarily would have seen before, I kind of like took all limits off. I said, okay, well, how does it move? And I said, well, there's no limitation to how it can move or how it will move. We will make it move however it needs to hit the beats that you want to have in the fight. Also needed to be unpredictable with regards to how it moves, how it fights. It needs to be a real challenge to Geralt. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of challenging fun. Quite a few sleepless nights every now and again where you're going, oh my God, have we planned it right? Is it going to come out right? When you watch it, you still can't quite understand how is it doing that. How it moves, how it interacts with him. It needed to be odd. What we try and do is try and bring a wow factor. See how we go. We had two monsters that we created for Ciri to meet in the desert. The first one was called the Sun Trap. The only time you really see it is when it actually comes up and nearly engulfs her. She jumps out of the way. For the rest of the time, it's just disturbed sand and other bits and pieces. They're big, expensive shots. And later on, she meets up with the pit monster. Giant scorpion-like rocky monster. We shot some of it in the desert over in Morocco. We brought that sequence back to Longcross and ended up shooting the monster fight in a constructed sandpit on stage 1 with blue screen surround. We ended up doing a full survey of that particular area in the desert and rebuilt that digitally to then match around the outside of where the blue screen was in the studio where we ended up shooting her. Favourite monster of this season? I think probably the Aeshna. So much work went into it. The team did such a good job on that. Our animators who animate the monsters, they have to be able to bring a certain level of believability. Now we're at the point where, I mean, it just has to feel right. The audience is expecting that. I wouldn't necessarily say there was a scene throughout the season which I thought was going to be a particular challenge. However, episode 6 is absolutely jam-packed with visual effects for almost every shot. Even though it's not necessarily monsters, there's a lot of magic. Episode 6 started quite early in post. We got that through editorial as fast as we could, and it ran all the way to the very end of post-production. Normally we would try and get the episodes in and out in a linear fashion. But yeah, we had to shuffle our schedule around just to squeeze in everything that we could for episode 6, because it is wall-to-wall visual effects. I'm a fan of motion control in that it makes things so much easier in post. Fantastic tool, but it does slow the process down. Once you set a move, you're locked into it. You can't change it. There was one particular sequence where we did use motion control. We shot at Guildford Cathedral. To fill Guildford Cathedral with extras, it was deemed easier to do it as a crowd replication setup. And for that, you really do need motion control. Tracking software is so good these days, we don't really have to do too many tracking markers. It's more of a backup. Adding stuff into a frame, that's trickier because what you add has to be invisible. The lighting has to match, the colour temperature has to match. The list of things that you have to tick off to make something match when it goes into frame is significantly more than rubbing something out.